So hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we are getting ready to remove the engine and the transmission from the C3 Corvette. Got to get the old stuff out so we can get the new stuff in. Obviously I've still got work to do on the engine, and you'll see kind of where we go from here. But hey, I'm really excited about this. So it's going to be a dirty job. I'm kind of in my greasers today because I'm expecting it to be pretty messy, but we're going to get the car out, we're going to get the fluids drained out of it, and we'll get it ready to go. So here we go on LS Swap Part 2. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the car started. I'm going to turn it around, and then we'll get it outside. We'll start draining the fluids, and we'll get this thing going. Yeah, all right, that's the way to get the day started right. I got a stream of coolant right in my armpit. That's all right. All right, we're getting it apart. We got the radiator off. Got some of the accessories off. Definitely. I think I'm just going to pull the power steering pump, but not disconnect the lines at this point, even though I will eventually be changing the power steering pump, obviously. But I'm going to go ahead and just continue what we're doing. Probably pull all the plug wires off, get the distributor out, and then we'll go from there. Okay, guys, so I think we got all the bolts out. We're going to try to pull this engine. I had to call in the heavy hitter over here. This is my son-in-law, Zachary. He's going to help me get this thing out, so we'll see what we can do. Got my baby girl over here videoing for us, so we're going to see if we can get this thing out. So let's see what we got. All right, I think we are separated. Okay, come on up just a little bit. A little bit more. Okay. Can you pull it forward just a little bit? Okay, hold it. All right, come up. All right, go ahead. You go ahead and come on up. Looks like we're separated all the way around. That's all right. That's the engine mount. All right, come on up. Looks like it's free. Hopefully it comes up high enough to clear the car. I think it will. Yeah, we're still on the edge. I'm sorry?
No worries.
It's heavy. It's a lot of weight. I think we're pretty close. You can go ahead and start pulling it forward a little bit. I'll steady it. I'll keep the engine steady. So anyways, I wanted to show a couple of things on this engine. So these are 853 heads. So the 853 heads are an LS1 head. They, from what I am told, are equivalent to a 241 head. And I showed last week how this bolt is stripped out. And that's not really the big issue with these heads. I mean, that's pretty much a simple fix. But there's another problem with these heads. At least I think there's a problem with the heads. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a good video of this. But these heads have the pry notch. Unfortunately, with those heads, you have to use a special gasket. In this area where this tank sticks out, if you look at the layers of the multi-layer steel gasket, they're very wavy. And people say that basically what ends up happening is when they put water in their engine, that it leaks out of that area because they're not getting proper clamp down. So on the other side, the tang is not at the pry notch. It's right there. And maybe you can see what I'm talking about better. The camera kind of wants to focus on the old dipstick, but you can actually see the layers of the gasket, and they're kind of separated. And so I do not feel comfortable running the heads like that. I've been trying to talk myself out of it, but after seeing the other work that was done on the engine, I don't think I'm going to be able to, in good faith, not pull these heads off. But while I'm in there, I'm not going to put these heads back on. I have a pair of 706 heads, and the good thing about them is that they are the non-Castech heads. The Castech heads had an issue cracking, but the other ones are really good heads. And so the 706 and the 862, I think it is, are a head with a smaller combustion chamber, and people used to just toss them, but what they found is the smaller combustion chamber bumps up your compression ratio, and it actually gives you more power. So I had talked about making the decision to change the cam, like I think I talked about it earlier in the intro. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the higher compression heads with the better cam. That way I get more power down low. I know this is not a truck, but I'm not one to drive at 5,500, 6,000 RPMs on a very regular basis. I like my power to, when from stoplight to stoplight, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting it apart. So whenever you're loosening your rocker arms, it's a good idea to loosen only the ones that are on the base circle of the cam, and then turn the engine over. And I'll show you what I mean. You see these two are about max extended on the springs. Same thing here. But if you notice on number 6, the exhaust valve is on the lobe of the cam. And so it's pushing the push rod up and compressing the spring. And so you have that spring tension on the bolt. And so I've heard of people stripping out the head, the threads in the head when they go to loosen that, and that's what's causing it. The same thing, if you look at the intake valve on number 8, it's compressed a little bit, but the exhaust valve is on the base circle of the cam. So I would go ahead and loosen these two, this one, and this one, and leave those two till I turn the engine. And I'll take them completely out of the engine, the push rods completely out, so that they don't get wedged in there and get damaged or whatever. So I pulled the 12 push rods that were up. You can see here, I went ahead and ran the rockers back down. This one here and this one here are still tight. I'm going to turn the engine over. And I've got the same thing on the other side. So I've got those two there that I got to pull. So basically I'm going to turn the engine over 180 degrees, and that should bring those four up, and then I can go ahead and break those loose. I'm very methodical when I do this. I've got the push rods here. I put tape on them on the top side where I pull them out, and that way it goes back in the same orientation. And I mark obviously which cylinder and which valve it is. So it's easy enough to tell which valve. Basically just go in line with your spring where the hole is here. That's your exhaust valve. So this is intake, exhaust, intake, exhaust, intake, exhaust, and on the opposite side it's just opposite of that. So I'm going to go ahead now and turn the engine over. And now you can see that my other two valves are at the raised height also. Same thing on the other side. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and shut off the camera, and I'll go ahead and get these pulled out, and then we'll move on. Well, I'm going to say that my concerns were justified. I understand when you pull heads off that you're opening water jackets and there's possibility of water coming out, but this engine pretty much didn't have any water in it. But you can see definitely there's a film of oily residue, water, moisture in between the head sealing gaskets. So I think everything is okay cylinder wise. The other thing is my concern about the lifter trays. These are definitely not new. I'm pretty sure from what I saw from the bottom that the lifters are new, but I'll be replacing those lifter trays for sure. So, all right, folks, there is no question about it. It was the right call to pull these heads off. So basically, what I think the problem was, obviously, first of all, like I said, these heads are the notched heads, and so they use a special gasket, a head gasket. You can see that notch right there. And basically, when the gasket or when the head is torqued down, it doesn't spread the load evenly, and so that causes leaks. The other problem is that if you look at this gasket right there, it says 6.0 and 6.2 liter. And obviously this is the 5.7. So I don't know definitively whether these would work on a 5.7, but from what I understand, the 4.8, the 5.3, and the 5.7 take one head gasket, and then the 6.0 and the 6.2 take another one. Okay, guys, so it was absolutely the right move to pull these heads off. It definitely had the wrong head gaskets on it. Now that we know that the head gaskets were 6.0 and 6.2 liter gaskets, I don't know of anyone that makes a 6.0 and 6.2 gasket for the notched heads. And so there are some companies out there that say that their newer style gaskets will work on the notched heads, but obviously this one was leaking really bad. So anyways, it was the right move. I'm going to go ahead and get everything on order. And next week you'll see me building up the engine back up with the new cam, with the head studs, the heads, new rocker trays, probably new lifter trays, and probably new lifters also. So I hope you will tune in for that video. But as a reminder, I want to make sure this video should come out early on Sunday morning. And Sunday is the last day of the Super Clean giveaway. So you'll still have a chance tomorrow. This video will come out in the morning, and throughout the day up until midnight my time, you'll have the opportunity to go ahead and get registered. And then on Monday we'll go ahead and pick the winner, and we'll notify the winner and get the information over to Super Clean. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you ring that notification bell, and we hope to see you again in the future. Thanks, and have a great night.